What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 1 of Recap and Record. I'm one of your co-hosts, Levi McCurdy, joined by my man Los. He's the host of the 280 Plus podcast, and today is episode 1, episode 0, whatever we're calling it. And this is just our new recap show. I've been trying to find someone to watch TV with me because Megs won't do it, and so I can't just let that knowledge go to waste. I got to put it to a podcast. And who better to team up with than the man himself, Carlos, host of 280 Plus. How you doing, friend?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling great, man. I'm real excited about this. But yeah, it is dope to be able to dedicate something to recaps and stuff like that. That's still gonna be part of my bread and butter. You know what I mean? You know, I like to do that on my platform. But like it's good that it's hard to do it with guests because depending on when I schedule it, depending on when we record, everybody doesn't, everybody watches streaming makes it tough. Everybody watches TV at different times. But like right now, this is a perfect series to do that with. You know,
Right.
and
And
we're gonna talk about that, and then we got set time to do it, and then we focus though. That's the difference too.
yep.
We focus.
Right.
So.
Well, and I think we both agreed pretty unanimously across the board that the Power universe is probably something I just don't need to be rewatching and recapping.
Yeah, you can watch it, but I don't think people want to
It's
like really.
you're in like volume 3 and prequels now, and
Yeah,
there's like I heard 50 Cent died and then he came back and now or so whatever. I don't think it's probably not for me, but.
Nah.
But Game of Thrones certainly is. So,
Yes, sir.
so
Yes, sir.
let's start with your history there. Game of Thrones. Did you?
Did you? And real quick, I'm sorry. Did
Yeah.
you say that in the beginning? Did you say that we were talking about Game of Thrones?
I'm almost positive, but
Okay,
if
all
people
right.
don't know, guess what? By the title and the thumbnails and everything else going on, we're
Yeah.
talking about House of Dragons. People, it aired last night.
Oh my God. So, but yeah, my history of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, hit
So
me with it.
I think I'm trying to remember because now it's been because the last, it ended in 2018, and at that point I was watching it like episode by episode. But I think I probably jumped on. I don't know if it was before season 5 or after season 5. It might have because I feel like I seen like 4 seasons on TV like as it went on.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, like it was something where a funny story. The way I started watching it, one time my cousin was staying over at my house or whatever. We just made like a weekend of it, and he's downstairs and he's watching. He always watches some new stuff, so he's watching Game of Thrones. I'm like, bro, why are you watching that shit, man? Like, you know what I mean? Got dragons and all
Right.
this, whatever. And he's like, no, I'm gonna just try it, whatever. So then when him giving it a chance made me say, like, I'm gonna give it a chance. And I was hooked. I was like, yo, this story is crazy, whatever.
Insane.
And then
Yeah.
I found out that he didn't even watch it. Like he never continued. He was like, I didn't continue with it. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, this is the and I'm gonna tell this is the greatest show ever made. Like I mean,
Ooh, that's
Game
a
of Thrones is the greatest.
hot
And I don't think, and the
take.
thing is, that's a lukewarm take. I don't think that's a hot
Okay,
take. This is
okay.
the greatest show ever.
I might
Ever.
I might put it in my top 5. I might not say
What's better?
greatest. I'm a
What's better?
Breaking Bad fan till
Breaking
till
Bad is
the
good, but like I actually like Saul better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Saul's better than Breaking Bad to me. Like
I haven't finished all of Saul, but I heard it was a great ending. So
so I gotta finish it too. I think I'm halfway through that last season because they cut it off and then I didn't pick it back up.
right.
But
Well, hey, maybe topic for season
yeah,
2. Maybe a
there you
topic for
go.
season 2 of the pod.
There, there
But
you go.
dude, yeah. So, do you read the books at all?
No, so I read for information. I don't read
Right.
fiction. So
Right.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Me
So
neither.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. And I heard, but is it more because these guys see that's the thing. It did not end well. That's the only thing with Game of Thrones.
So
It did not end
is
well.
that your opinion, or is that the opinion of you taking that from other people, or how do you?
That's my
Because
opinion,
that's my
but
next question. The ending
that's
of Game of Thrones was pretty controversial. So
okay. All right, I don't want to jump ahead.
that's all right.
But no, I never read any of the books, but I hear that they kind of went off script. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like they went off the books weren't even the story's not actually finished according to George Martin. Like he didn't
Right.
finish writing those books. So they kind of went their own path. And so like when if they are ever finished, it's probably it's gonna have a totally different ending. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, go ahead. You could get into that. Lead us in, man.
Yeah, so no, so my beginning with Game of Thrones, just real quick, I knew kind of what it was about when it was on TV, and then when when I started to be dedicated and watching it, I had three rules, and so it stuck to those rules, and so did House of Dragons, hence the reason we're here.
Okay.
Boobs, dragons, and drama. Okay. And so
Okay.
if the episodes deliver those three things, it's a very good episode for me. And so this first
Ah,
episode of House of Dragons was great because, of course, we saw all three of those things. And
yeah.
so, I mean, the ending, listen, could we have wrapped it up better? Did we want to see Danny, Jon Snow babies? Yes, but
Yeah.
still kind of weird because they're like related or whatever. So, I thought the ending was all right, but I feel like it was rushed, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, I'm in the middle of a rewatch right now. Like
Okay.
I'm on like season 7 rewatching because I was gonna rewatch it before this House of Dragons, even though I know it wasn't related. But I said I got to get in the mood, and that's solidified it too. Because I was like, yeah, this is the greatest show ever, man. Like that. I'm currently watching it, so it's like, yo, I now season 7 is where like I don't even like Daenerys by season 7. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when she's basically trying to everybody got bend the knee, and it's like fuck
Right.
out of here, bitch. Like you know what I'm saying? Like and it's just like how do you? They don't even. The thing is, you talking about wrapping it up, and we wanted. They don't even officially reveal it. Like they like kept. It's like a kept secret that he is a Stark. That he
Right.
really is a Stark and a
Right.
Targaryen.
Right.
And it's like, bro, like, come on, man. Now,
Why didn't
it
he take the throne? Like,
like,
yeah.
yeah, because he actually would have he would be the succession because and that's the cool thing about this, and like this is the stories about family and the importance of a legacy, and like, because yeah, if Rhaegar's the oldest, it goes to all his kids before it would go to a sibling, and he is Rhaegar's son. So
Right.
what the hell, man?
Yeah. All right.
What the hell?
Let's jump into it. First we're gonna fast forward and then rewind. So it's
Okay,
been 3 years since the show is on. But
4 years. I thought it ended in 2018.
that was 2019. What
Are
year
you
are we on?
sure?
And it's 3 or 4 years. That's okay.
Okay.
So now we're like 200 years before that. So we're not getting, it's not a Saul Goodman Breaking Bad situation. We're
Yeah.
not going to see Jon Snow at the end of
No,
House of
no.
Dragons. We're 200 years there. And
I
so,
thought I thought we would at least get the Mad King, but then it's before even the Mad King. So
right. Because he's Daenerys's father, correct?
yeah, he's the nearest father.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So we start out the episode with just a message, just knowing that it's the ninth year of the king's ruling, as he was pronounced, because the current king, something happened to his sons. I think they melted in a terrible game of Russian roulette with one of the dragons.
Yikes.
It's something
Right, right.
they didn't announce it, but it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
smelting.
It had to be something controversial because they didn't really say he's like, oh, something happened bad. Yeah,
Right.
fucking dragons is killing them. Like,
One of the dragons ate him.
it be
So
your own people. Yeah,
so then we had to choose somebody, right? And so we
yeah.
see this first image of like the queen to be, and then how do I say his name?
It's Viserys. It's because that was Daenerys' brother's name. He's
Viserys, right?
Viserys the second. This is
Got it.
Viserys the first.
Got it. So that already we are creating rifts between like, the men and the women, and this like, only
Patriarchy.
men can be rulers
Yeah.
of the king and the family and the passing of everything. So spoiler alert, right? Let's jump into it. Let's get into
Okay,
the
yeah.
episode.
Let's get into it.
Spoilers from here on out. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll probably have like images up on the screen through the edit of the episode as we're talking about things. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out on HBO and then come back as we're gonna go through it.
Did you watch the you know how like they'll show like the directors like recap of it and stuff like that, and the producers talking about it
I did not. Did
after
you?
the show? Oh, I did. And
Okay.
it was very informative, and it was good, man. It was real good.
Perfect. So I'll just rely on you for that information.
Okay, all right. Let's start.
Yeah. So starting
I
with
actually thought when I first seen her though, like I ain't gonna lie, like the first impression, I was like, man, I don't want to see this, whatever. And then I saw that a good like preview by George Martin, the author, and he kind of broke it down, whatever. But like actually, because I don't even think I realized she was a young girl. I just thought she's younger looking, whatever. But no, she's a teenager. So then
right.
I like automatically I was like, all right, I can't hate on the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, So she's like a young girl, and I'm sold. I'm sold on her already. I already
And they're
like her.
doing, and what they've done also too is the casting. They've done a very good job to that visual. Like she's obviously related to Danny, and like
Yes.
the Mason at the table with the king is obviously a relative of Sam, and like the right hand is obviously a relative of like their characters kind of like match up with their heritage, so that we can
Well,
make
no, well, so that's the thing. So the hand of the king is a high tower. The high tower that's a house that no longer exists by the time we get into Game of Thrones. That's an ancient house. Yeah,
okay.
they're no more. Like there's a lot of then that's the thing. George Martin talks about these different houses. We're gonna see these houses that no longer exist. You will see some older houses that like the Baratheons, because the Baratheons are cousins
Right.
of the Targaryens. A lot of people don't realize that. But yeah, so yeah, the high towers, the Coles, that's another house that's like no longer around. That's in that show. But yeah, that's what. But like when you said matching up, what like because yeah, the black man who is the husband of he's also part of a house that doesn't no longer exists. You know what I mean? So
And
that was cool. So I'm like, wow, black guy, like we're gonna have
right.
like there might have been like two
Right. How
appearances of black people.
and I was gonna say I didn't know if I was gonna bring that up or not, but like what year are we in like revelation to a black man in Game of Thrones to like you know what I mean? Like
Well, all right, so that I'm glad you brought that up because
yeah.
that was my thing was with watching this was okay.
Because
If
doesn't Danny free slaves in the new, so like is slavery comes later, maybe? Is that
well,
go ahead, sorry.
I don't think it has because I think their slavery wasn't all just racial. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was more a caste system. But
Got it.
what I was interested about in this show, watching it, was how they were gonna tackle the time change, right? Because and what I'm realizing is that obviously you got to put your mind, you got to think. So what I'm realizing is I think the world itself, like in terms of technology, I guess there's almost no technological advances. Like basically in this world, the only thing that changes is the people that are in charge. You know what I mean? Life is life. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, is there gonna be like ancient tools and ancient like
Right.
when you look at it, it's like it's the same. It's like it's nothing. It don't seem like nothing is like upgraded from Game of Thrones, like I mean, or downgraded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're
Yep.
still riding horse and carriage.
Right.
They're still using swords and shields. So I was like, all right, that's interesting, and that's what you got to put your mindset into. Like, okay, it's not like how our time develops,
Right.
and
Right.
technology and
Okay.
all that.
Got it. No.
So,
That makes sense. And I guess they do a good job of explaining that, I guess just based on what they use and show us in the
yeah,
show. But I've never thought about it that way because
yeah.
because
I was just thinking about that. Like,
because it just I hate to keep going back to it, but like Breaking Bad takes us over the course of like 6 years, and like things
yes,
change like
yes,
drastically in time and culture between the beginning and end of the show. But like here we are 200 years apart, and we've pretty much got the same dirt roads and
yeah. The world is the same. It's just
right.
like who's running shit, and I mean that's what changes. And
Okay.
I think that's you got to get rid of that convention of time. Like the time don't really matter. It does matter, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Here's something I noticed in the language that I kind of love. Instead of good morning, they say good morrow, as
okay,
in
good
like,
morrow. Okay,
yeah, that I caught from the mom. So getting into some juicy stuff. This is where my
yes,
notes pick up.
okay, yeah,
The queen. The queen is making demands. This is it. No more kids. She's laying in the
yeah,
bath. She can't even take a warm bath anymore because they won't even let her raise the temperature. And this is it. She's had like 2 stillborns, 1 or
yeah,
2 died, like whatever else happened. This is like the 5th and final. If this baby boy doesn't make it, like that's like she's out of here. You know what I mean?
yeah, yep,
And so, the king agrees, right? The
yeah.
king agrees. And then, so then nothing really else going on there. But then his brother we meet, First we meet him on the Iron Throne with Rey. And
Yeah.
so I thought that was a little interesting. I wasn't sure where he stood, like if he was even allowed to be in the kingdom because she was
Yeah.
sneaking in there, sneaks.
Yeah.
And so like that whole interaction was very interesting to me. And then, as it turns out, brother has now been just disgraced. Like they can't give him the job at the bank because he spends all the money.
Yeah.
Can't give
Yeah.
him this job because he does this. And now he's in charge of the watch, basically the
city watch,
security of the
yeah.
whole town.
Yeah,
Right?
he's like the sheriff. Yeah, he's
Right.
like the sheriff of
Right.
of the town. Yeah.
And so, just any
Motherfucker
given
is ruthless.
Tuesday night just decides to not really worry about it and takes care of all of the criminals in the town. Oh, you're a thief, your hand's chopped off.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
you
was
raped
judge,
somebody,
jury, and
your dick's on
executioner.
the table, baby. Oh,
Yeah.
you murdered somebody, your head's in the
Yeah,
basket.
when they went? All right, when they went behind the dude, what did they cut off? Because what was on the table? They cut off something. I was like, what is that?
I think it was his sack, bro. I think it was his
Okay.
sack. I'm almost
See,
positive.
It looked kind of weird though. Like I kept this episode I kept rewinding stuff because I'm like, because I didn't want to miss nothing. I was like, I gotta hear. Oh, what did they say? What is he talking about? Because even because Game of Thrones, this is why it's the best show. There's not
Right.
a wasted line of dialogue. Like
Right.
everything they say matters.
Mhm.
So whether they're introducing people's names, telling stories about people, you got to pay attention to all that because it might come up 3 seasons later. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It might come up 5 episodes later. I mean, like so. Yeah.
And so
He was
takes
judge, jury, and executioner though. Man. He
just
just decided
insanity.
like, yo,
Right.
lawless, like
Right.
or I'm a
insanity.
I'm RoboCop. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like,
town will
Judge
fear
Dredd.
gold, is what he said, I believe. The town
Yeah.
will fear gold.
Damon Targaryen.
Damon. So then Damon is obviously met at the table with his brother and all of his friends. And I just thought this was freaking hilarious. I think the king calls him his lady wife. The king refers to his wife. Damon hates his wife. Damon's stressed. He can't come. He needs Blue Chew. And he hates his wife. He doesn't want to go home to his wife.
Nope.
And so, but he's just doing it to get him all roused up. And so they're like, hey, man, do us a favor. Don't kill any more of our people. And he's like, all right, well, that's fine, I guess. That's fine. But now he's like, hey, man, the town's safe. The town's safe and everything's safe. Yeah. Like, why are you mad at me?
It definitely gave me blue light. It gave me like some Blue Lives, like vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like just like the wall of silence. Like you know what I mean? Like just like how he's just all about law and order. And
right.
It's like nah, bro. Like, but that's the thing. You can't give a crazy person you can't militarize a crazy person.
Right.
Man. Like I just think and the king just feels weak to me. He just feels like a weak king.
Right. And he says that to him later. He says he needs him to, but obviously we'll get to that in a second. First of all, I don't know about you, but I've seen TV shows, movies. I have seen so many different renditions and live at the Renaissance Fair, of jousting.
Oh man!
And this version of jousting is by far my brand new favorite. I want to see it in every episode.
Yeah, so when I watched the recap, they said that they wanted to give us some Game of Thrones action, whatever, and what better way to do that than the tournament? And then because to do that, they wanted to show us the possibilities of where the show could go. Because they call it, the reason why they joust is like they're playing at war.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then it kind of foreshadows some things like, these people ain't gonna like these people. Because you're killing their knights. You're killing the probably the toughest people a part of these houses.
And so then that was my next question. If you lose and or win in this jousting version of the game, you can just decide to hey, I don't really like that outcome. Draw a sword and smash some dude's fucking head in.
Yeah,
what are we talking?
These sore losers.
Right.
What
Right. And so but it happens so quickly. The queen's in labor, and then all of a sudden the jousters are killing each other for no reason at all, and no one's stopping them. I thought the armed guards were gonna come. I thought they were gonna stop it.
No referee, nobody, just let it
go. And then
homeboy
Damien gets on his horse and he almost loses his head. Like we almost lost him. And now, do you know, based on your history watching the show, what the purpose of giving your respects or
The favor, the favor.
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a kind of like a good luck charm, whatever. But it's almost like
like a
it
mini
feels like
trophy.
yeah, it's like like a little trophy. But it almost feels like the women are forced to do it, like because they didn't want to necessarily give it to those guys that they gave it to, like the guys asked, and it's like
Right.
it's almost like if a man asks for it, it's like they're expected to give it, like the woman's expected to give it to
Yeah,
you, like.
yeah.
Because the first dude was a Baratheon, her cousin, and she even says cousin. And that's you gotta pay attention. She called him cousin,
Right.
and she, he was talking shit. She gave him the favor, and then he loses.
Yep.
And then almost everybody that got a thing, except for the last dude, they lost. Like I mean, like pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, because Damon lost.
Dude, and friggin' dude, Damon's helmet though, the dragon wings on his helmet. I need that somewhere in this atmosphere of my space.
Oh, now you think
I need it.
Think of Halloween now.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll never dress up for Halloween. Like
I don't. Let's that. I think Spirit just opened, so we'll have to see if they have them. So in the middle of jousting, here's the next bullet point: the baby.
Man.
So the king now has a choice to make, dude, right? So this whole episode, right, is just revolving around and dropping hints left and right. Everyone's talking about it. The king has a daughter. The king needs a son. And his wife is pregnant, and this is clearly her last run. And so this is what's on the top of everyone's mind. If she doesn't have a son, what the fuck are we going to do? It falls into Damon's hands. And so we got to make a choice. He said
the
Citadel only has
sacrifice one or lose both. And then when he said that, I was like, I didn't know which one was he sacrificing. And then they said he could save the baby,
right?
So I'm like, all right, I mean, and basically they do a C-section, probably the first C-section ever.
I was just about to say the Citadel has one record of a C-section, and now they're performing it. But they just don't have a way to like contain the blood and everything else. So like he basically decides to sacrifice his wife in honor of the kingdom.
Yeah, but she was gonna die either. Basically, they were saying she was gonna die,
right? Because the baby was breached, and there was no way to get it out. So the baby just would have suffocated and then killed her because it died in the canal. Right?
Exactly. So he did have to make that choice.
Right.
But
it's unfortunate.
It made it seem like he had a choice to save one or the other, but like no, it really was like no, she was gonna die either way. So let's try to save this baby. And I thought, I don't think they did a good job of telling us that the baby died, or did they?
Did you? That's my next question. Did you hear the cough and the hiccup? There was a cough and a hiccup as soon as they cut it, and that was supposed to be the baby choking, and like that's the number. Like the baby's choking on the fluid from the womb is like the number one cause of like what. That's why you got to burp them. But as soon as they come out, so they get all that fluid out. Because if they choke on it,
so you saying they didn't do that?
So well, apparently not. Because there was a little cough and a little burp.
I thought that was like a sign, like he's alive.
And as soon as I heard it, I was like, I think that was it.
Yeah, because then when they show him the maester, like holding them, I'm like, all right, that's all right, got to air, and but then once they go into that meeting, that's when you officially know, like, and I'm like, wait up, I was confused. I was like, did the baby die? Like, what the heck? Like,
no, I think we officially find out at the gravesite, right, when they have the bodies, and then they show the little tiny one right after that, right?
Oh, see, I didn't even peep that. Oh,
yeah. If you go back,
because I thought they had the meeting before, so they had the meeting after
the funeral. Yep.
Okay, see, I did not peep the little.
I
wasn't paying attention.
It's like a mummified queen, and then on a step below it, there's like a little bread loaf size mummification, which is supposed to be the baby.
Back.
Yeah, it's the baby. Yeah.
I didn't peep that.
And so,
that's good.
So then we get the fire from the dragon, of course, more dragons in this episode.
Yes.
And then the king realizing that obviously
they had the official seat on the dragon. Like I don't feel like Daenerys ever got one of those.
Daenerys was always bareback, I thought.
Yeah,
I think she was always
bareback in that dragon.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't think, you know what else either? I don't think anyone ever commented on her smelling like a dragon.
no one, yeah, yeah. In this episode, we found out like they have a
Like they
smell.
have a distinct smell, right?
Hey, it's wash your ass. You smell like dragon
Right,
out here.
right.
Like,
So, so then obviously the Damon goes, and I thought, dude, I thought when we were getting like the flashbacks of Damon at the brothels, like after the funeral, and then them telling the king what he did, I thought he like murdered everyone in the building or something again. I thought he did something crazy, but instead he just said, "King of a day, king of a day,
air for the day,
heir of the day." Yeah,
air for a day. And then it was like, but that was like that was so fucked up though. That was fucked up.
a little bit.
But it's crazy that it got back to the king so fast. Though. Like you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and
people
nobody
not
did his
playing.
homework. He's like, I got 3 witnesses lined up.
Yeah.
They all confirmed he said it. Get his ass in here.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's another thing that's interesting. So all right, so realizing that the Targaryens are in charge, does that mean that do they have all the, because when they say the 7 kingdoms, are they on every kingdom? Because they said that he had to go back to Runestone, which that's not a location that was widely, talked about, but then his wife was in the Vale. So I'm thinking like, well, does he have like, do the Targaryens, are they housing every big castle that's in Westeros?
Maybe
Like
we
kind of like
don't
in
know
charge,
that yet.
because I remember reading something about how like there was some type of war where they end up giving all these different kingdoms lordships, but they can't call themselves princes or nothing like that, because you're not
It's
Targaryen. But
right?
but like that made me think like, yo, where are like how many other Targaryens are there, and like are they housing all these kingdoms?
Maybe because we know they have 10 dragons. They have 10 dragons. They said that in the beginning. And spoiler alert for next episode, there is a clip of a scene where we see at least 7 of them flying with ships. So there's more dragons coming.
Yes.
So okay, did anyone think that maybe pissing off the king's brother, who A, we now know has a temper problem, B, now know he's sexually frustrated, C, hates his wife, D, wants nothing more to be on the Iron Throne, and E knows, I don't even know if that's the right letter, but knows, because he listened in on the secret meeting, what their plan is and how everyone feels about him in the current moment. Did we really think it was a good idea to send him away pissed off with his very own dragon, and we just thought he would go away and never come back?
Well, I don't see, but I think that's a part. Like he's a Targaryen. I think that dragon is his. You know what I
Right.
mean, can he didn't strip him of his like prince? Like he still is the part of the family. He's just
Right.
not direct line of succession now. But he loves his niece. So like, is he gonna really try to harm his niece?
And that's
Like,
interesting. And that will be an interesting
'cause
dynamic.
have
I think
they're tight. They're tight.
I think what we're going to see is him trying to convince her now, like maybe
you don't want to do that. You don't
manipulate her in his favor versus his father, her father.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then we kind of get this. Is this a big reveal? We get pretty much the story of the Song of Fire and of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, it's a prophecy. It's like it's not even like it's a dream.
Winter
Like, all
is
these-
coming is
Yeah.
this whole thing leading up. It passes down from Targaryen king to Targaryen king and queen, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And it's basically one day a winter storm will come and it will bring an army that needs a Targaryen to defeat it.
Yes.
And so this is what I'm assuming to be correct, is winter in the battle with the Ice King that we see in the Game of Thrones.
Yes, yeah.
So-
because that's what Song of Fire and Ice, whatever. That is what we were like. What regular Game of Thrones? That's what that is.
right,
I mean,
right.
that is the Song of So,
Right.
yeah, it was kind of cool. And then just even that fact, like even before that, did he announce her officially prior to that conversation or after that conversation?
No, he had made up his mind. Then he told her what her responsibilities were as queen.
Okay.
And then
they
was
did
like
ceremony.
the knighting ceremony.
Okay.
I will trust you and follow you till my death.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, and that pretty much wraps up episode 1, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Where are we going here? Where do you think where's this series taking us? What do you see happen? I know obviously this is in my understanding that this is the downfall of the House of Targaryen. Is that what we're gonna see here?
Well, isn't I essentially though the because I like I said I figured out that they're related to Baratheons and stuff like that. Like when you look at the family tree, like Rhaenyra is kind of up there. There's because it's 100 whatever 70 some years. So like
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get generations.
Right.
We're still gonna get a few more generations
Right.
of Targaryens before it's over. But the
Okay.
Mad King is when it ends. You know what I mean,
Ah,
but
got it.
I think this is the beginning of the end. Though.
Got it. Yep.
It's the start of like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. I think there's gonna be a lot more character development. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that Game of Thrones did well. I just even felt like the way they told the story, like even if you didn't know what was going on, they did a good job of like with the prologue that even though it's short, that did a good
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yep.
And then we're gonna start seeing all these
Quick.
new
In.
locations. We're gonna
Yep.
start seeing these new characters. We're gonna start learning about these houses.
Dragons.
And that's yeah, and the dragons and stuff like that. And but yeah, obviously, Viserys, oh no, Damon, he's gonna be on one. We see Viserys, I mean, he got some weird infection on his back. Like, I mean, what the hell was that? So he's about to check soon. Like
Presumably, right. So is that can we presumably say maybe the end of this season, maybe we see him pass or in not the greatest health and Rey becoming more of a queen figure?
yes.
Yeah.
Yo, because obviously they allude to it, but like it didn't seem like anything went down. But like, yo, his homeboy Hightower, Otto Hightower, yo, my man really like pimping his daughter off to this man. Like,
I was just about to recap on that, and I was
what?
going to ask you if you got that same feeling when he said, go to his chambers and keep him
Yeah,
company. Like,
yeah.
oh, and wear
And
a
it don't
dress your
it don't
mom
seem
would
like
wear.
yeah,
And so
yeah. Like
nothing happened, I don't think,
I don't
right?
think so.
No.
It actually seemed innocent, which
Yeah.
good, but it was like,
It was a little weird of a setup there. A little weird of a setup.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I thought it might be like a. I don't know, because it was weird. Because yeah, I think they had the meeting right after that, right? And then so I was thinking like, oh, it's been brought to our attention. I thought it was like
Mm-hmm.
maybe even a setup, like, oh, he tried to fuck my
Right,
daughter or something. Like I didn't
right,
know what was gonna
right,
happen. Like
right.
so
Something. Well, and see, but then I thought when Ray and her had a moment in the garden, she had said something along the lines of, "All I want to do is ride dragons and eat cake with you around the world." I thought
oh,
there might have been a
like
relationship
yeah.
there, maybe.
Yeah, it did feel it, but it seems like she's Rhaenyra's she's it looks like or Rhaenyra is it Rhaenyra or Rhaenyra? I think it's Rhaenyra.
I think you're right.
All right. So she's interested in that Sir Cole dude though. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean that or the knight. So
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know but yeah, I didn't know what the heck that was. I was like, is this some girl on girl? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
You see those mixed babies, you know what I mean? Like they got Valerian, like the black man, his kid. Like I just thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, they really got black characters on here. So I don't know where that's gonna go, but they said that's another house. His name is Valerian, House of Valerian. So
Okay.
like they said that's another house that we're gonna meet, and like I guess they were like of a great house as well, like you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
uh, but I'm excited, man. I'm just excited where it's gonna go.
Did you
This guy
watch?
Damon is crazy. This guy Damon is gonna be
Yeah, I'm assuming he's like our residential bad guy for the season.
yeah.
I mean, you never really know
So
what he's
far.
gonna do or where he's gonna go, right? Because there was no mention, unless I missed it, no mention of Lannisters here, correct?
No man. I did not hear not one Lannister name yet.
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay.
they're around yet but yeah, no.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think
We did see Rickon Stark though, old
Yep.
Rickon,
Yep.
like or
Yep.
Rickard. Was it Rickard? I think it's Rickard.
Yeah.
Which
Pledging
is
his
obviously
allegiance.
like he's like down the road. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's dope, man. I'm excited. Whew, I don't know where it's gonna go.
It's gonna be great, man. And I mean, as long as they keep the format, you know what I mean? Boobs, dragons, drama. That's all we need.
Does all episodes have to have that for it to be a good
Well,
episode? Because
no,
I'm gonna
no.
say,
It's at least 2 out of the 3. At least two out of
Boobs,
the three.
drama, and drag. Yeah, but no, it's fight. What about fighting though? What about? I
Well,
mean,
that's part of the drama. I consider fighting
okay,
part of the drama, I guess. We'll lump
okay,
all that into one. But I mean,
okay.
hey, I watched previews for next week. Did you happen to see those yourself?
I think I went because no, I don't think I watched the recap and the director's talking about it, but like I think the preview, I think I might have like just breezed through that. But like, no, what's gonna happen? What did you see?
Just it's just a lot more. I think it was more of a preview for the season, just to get people
Yeah,
excited after the first episode. But I think it was just more fire and dragons and battle and everything. Just
yeah,
everything Game of Thrones. I mean, they know the format. They know what they need to do. Like it's not that difficult at this point.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
any closing thoughts? Any final words?
Man, man, I'm rooting for the daughter. I'm rooting for
Mm-hmm.
Rhaenyra. I like her. I like her style a little bit. I didn't like I didn't like her statement though, man, when at the funeral where she made it like, oh, maybe I wonder if for a few moments my dad was happy, whatever. And I'm like, bro, like he loved your mom. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I get that. Like he's not like he seemed like a nice guy for real.
He's
Like
a
he's
and
not
he's a real ditzy kind of guy.
yeah,
And
he
it,
looks ditzy in the face. Like he
uh-huh.
just looks stupid. He got this oh, like
Right.
the lost face. I'm like, bro, somebody gonna get you out of here. But
Right.
to
My
make it
brother
like
would kill me? What? You think my brother would kill me for the throne?
yes, yeah, you see how that crazy that dude looks? Yes, he will kill you, bro. So
Right.
yeah, I'm rooting for that. But I didn't like how she tried to paint her dad real quick. I mean,
Right.
I was like, nah, sis, like your dad fuck with you, but
True. Right.
I get it, I get it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You're
and
upset.
what else is interesting too is I don't think did they ever they didn't he didn't address it with her the whole hand over the fire that like Targaryens can walk through fire. Do we know that yet? I don't think we know if
No, I don't think we know that yet. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just another part of history. So yeah, man, the Song of Ice and Fire, it's here, the House of Dragons. Solid episode 1 if you don't ask me.
Yeah, definitely. It's
This
definitely
is
solid. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's next, man.
yeah.
I'm ready.
We're gonna get this episode up. We're gonna get a schedule together. We're gonna get a flow going. We're gonna figure out who's doing what on what end and where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
going and how it's going. Listen, we're on Twitter
Yes,
already.
sir.
It's recap_pod. Recap_pod on Twitter. You'll see the purple logo there.
Yeah,
And I
recap and
believe
record, baby.
both of us have already retweeted that, so check that out. YouTube channel is up and the podcast will be live as soon as it is live on the channel, so we will have this up and out and everywhere, and hopefully back next week with the rest of the season. Do we know how long the season is?
I'm a guess. I don't know exactly, but I'm a guess 10. We're gonna get 10.
Let me see.
Sometimes a pilot thing they'll do 8, but I can't see they got to do at least 10.
Let us see. We will find out right now. Budget, language, filming, casting. Okay. I don't think we know. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it's gonna be somewhere between 8 and 10.
Would there be any other? So it looks like if they're gonna go, yeah. One thing too is this is only gonna be a mini series, or are they creating a real show out of this? Is this just a time period piece? I mean, because I would like to see they would have to pick it up pretty fast, but like I
Mm-hmm.
would want to see like I want to see what happened in the North, like the old prequel of the North stuff. You know what I mean? I want to
Right.
see that type of. I'm interested in that. I would love to see the Mad King at some point,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not. I don't think we're gonna get that ever in this series.
No,
So
no, but I mean, something tells me that that would be easy for them to pull off and coming soon.
yeah,
I think that's what most people want to see.
yeah.
Just either like Daenerys as like a little girl or a teenager maybe, and then essentially the same thing we have now with that kid
Well,
that
Daenerys as a little girl though is like basically like a host. Like I mean, she's not. She had no power. I mean, they were exiled. They were just like somewhere. Like somebody was
oh,
keeping them. For remember, they was gone for 17 years.
that's right.
They
You're
were
right.
gone for 17. So yeah. So
All right, man. Well, listen, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Recap and Record, the first one. And
Let's go.
So
First
excited.
episode, baby.
Yeah, man.
Dawn of a new era, baby.
Dawn of a new era. House of Dragons. Check it out on HBO. We'll see you guys next week, all right?
Peace.